Hi, my name is Dadha. Today I'm going to talk about race and integration in the United States. Greetings to all those who have taken the time to attend this meeting of American Correctional Association. My speak my speech will focus on the high rates of incarceration in the United States and its close connection to the racial inequalities. Um, The population of the United States contributes only 5% to the total global population despite comprising 25% of the total world prisoners. Per every 100,000 citizens, there are 748 prisoners. The statistics get even worse if persons under parole or probation are included, in which case there is one incarcerated person for every 31 adults. The statistics are shocking and clear reflection of a major shortfall in the judicial system. Um, African Americans are 6 times more likely to be incarcerated than whites and currently constitute approximately 1 million of the 2.3 incarcerated population. Second in line in incarceration is Hispanic, who, when added to African Americans, comprise approximately 60% of the total prisoner population in the country. Men generally constitute a larger share of the incarcerated population, taking over 90% and are generally 14 times more likely than women to be imprisoned. It has also been established that young age from 20 to 30 constitutes a larger share of the incarcerated population. This age group also often comprised of the less educated, with over 70% not having attained a high school diploma. African Americans comprise 26% of the total, and if the chain continues unchecked, 1 in every 6 black males born today will be incarcerated in future for one reason and or another. In fact, the reason for incarceration in the United States have increased so significantly that those in prison are largely jailed for technician violation of laws and opposed to keeping the society safe, which should be the main reason for incarceration. During the 1980s, the number of federal laws stood 3,000 as compared to 4,450 in 2008. Such an increase in bound to affect an equal rise of incarceration rates. There are several justifications for the use of incarceration as from the legal punishment. Among the justification is arising from use and sale of illicit drugs. While over 14 million whites had admitted to using illicit drugs in a survey as compared to 2.6 million blacks. The the rate of incarceration is 10 times higher for African Americans. They illustrate the importance of race in the discussion of mass incarceration solely because of the evident disparities and the inequalities that are present in the current system. The fight for equal rights for every race in the United States has been ongoing for decades, with African Americans leading the way, um, following the dark history of slavery that rocked the United States. As such, For the period followed by a Proclamation Act and key milestone in the fight to racial equality, it has been a given that whites have enjoyed a certain level of privilege as compared to other races in the world in the country. Um, in addition to this, economic data depict a large disparities in the financial stabilities between the two races, despite the progress that has been made. Race has always formed an important part of key financial sectors, including employment rates and education level. In light of this, it is clear that white privilege and higher social status plays a role in the disparities present in the integration rates in the United States. In the event that integration rates for white stood for African Americans and Hispanics, it is guesstimate that the prison population will be who declined by half. Their this serves to re-establish the the prevalence of racial discrimination among law enforcement in the United States. By founding on the statistic present early in the speech, it is practically impossible to oppose the fact that incarceration in the United States has been done out in the fair manner. The racial disparities point toward gross discrimination in the system, putting to question the efficacy of incarceration as go-to form of punishment, with almost all juvenile prisoners highly likely to spend a later part of their lives in prison. It is no doubt that the system fails in its mandate of effective character change through the use of incarceration. Imprisonment, judging from the data present, seem to increase the likelihood of the victim involving themselves in even worse crime, even that they are released. This is contrary to the basic role of prison as reform. Instead, institution incarceration a person some for seemingly peasant offense links them with the worst type of criminal, which in turn enhance their probability of engaging on more serious crime. There are so that majority of those incarcerated for between 20 and 30 years old, with most having not complete high school. The link between incarceration and education cannot be ignored. Instead of building more prisons and allocating more budget funds to cater for felons, the country should be focused on improving the educational level of all its citizens. In doing so, it is a given that the crime rates that warrant incarceration will ultimately drop. It is worth noting that incarceration does not equate to reforming, and as such, the increasing rates of imprisonment in the country are a sign of growth in system that favors the discriminatory locking up the individual based on color and opposed to reason. Education stands to increase the level of awareness on the ever-increasing federal laws as established earlier, and in turn reducing incarceration associated with technical violations. While incarceration is effective in protecting the society from harmful individuals, the process that ultimately leads to imprisonment should be overhauled. Imprisonment should only be warranted in the event that individual poses imminent threat to the society, following to which alternative forms of punishment that have established success be adopted. Incarceration should be therefore not to be the go-to form of punishment, but instead the underlying reasons motivating factors for crimes be addressed, uh, as explained by the structural strain theory of the device in its social strain expressed through the rampant racial inequality that prompts the obsessive variations in the incarceration rates. Therefore, as we strive to affect inequality in the incarceration process, we should also focus on the different forms of inequality that overwhelm minorities in the country, leading them to resort crime, hence their consequent incarceration.